Go live. Go live. Bring in listeners. And guess what time it is? It is time to start the show.
Now. Ayo, it's time to go. Yeah, you know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's out.
Nathan.
Now that's crazy.
Now that's
Wee! That began that. I love that ending of that song. Woo wee! It just wakes me up as
Zips
opposed
right into it.
to
You're getting a treat, y'all. If you're coming in as a newer listener, we didn't always have an ending like that.
no, for maybe 6 months, he insisted on having an ending that would depress you, put you to sleep, and or a coma.
Well, listen, who said, a nice little nap in the morning wasn't a good way to spend your time? But let's get into it.
Welcome to Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense,
Plus more.
episode
40,
46.
46. Okay. So this is a show about spirituality. It's a show about our mother-son relationship and our trials and tribulations and growth and expansion along the way. And sprinkled with a little bit of lightness, a little bit of humor, a little bit of falderall here and there.
Not too much humor, not too much falderall. This is a serious show. This is about growth. This is about relationships with mother and son. And this is about spirituality. This is
This
serious.
is very serious and this isn't fun, and we expect very, very minimal laughing, very minimal smiling.
Not only that, we expect minimal listeners, but like and subscribe, like and
But like and
subscribe.
subscribe.
And by the way, Nathan, I have this new thing. It says, tune in so you can tune out.
That's good. I like that as our mantra. Tune in so you can tune out, or tune out so you can tune in.
Get it?
I do get it. So what we do is we got some topics. We bounce back and forth between segments and topics. Our topics are always going to be spiritually related. That is very serious. And the segments have a little bit more lightness to them. And we like to start off with word of the day as our segment.
Yes. You start with the word of the day because I started first
You did
last.
start last week. So my word of the day is pithy. Pithy, that's Pithy.
Pithy. Let me write that down.
Yeah, and I think it also comes from the word pith, but when you use pithy as an adjective, it is a word with positive connotation, and it means succinct, concise, and brief, expressing an idea cleverly in very few words. So we might say, like, that debate was pithy.
You might say that. I don't think I'll ever use that word because no one will know what I'm talking about. Pithy.
Pithy. Get into it. It's a good word. I think you'll find it very useful.
Okay, maybe I will. I have two words. I have two words, and they're both. You tell me which one is wackier and which one is more fun. The first word is, listen to this, it's in our title, nonsensical.
Great.
Nonsensical, meaning having no meaning, making no sense. A nonsensical argument, ridiculously impractical or ill-advised. What's the synonym? I
Synonym.
Thank you. Synonym. conceived or made without regard for reason or reality, a nonsensical decision that didn't take an account of any of the facts, absurd, bizarre, foolish, insane. That's us, nonsensical. Let's go.
Wow, just that does describe us just zero credibility. Well, that's part of the show. What's your other word?
Oh, it's even worse. This word is balderdash.
Girl, we've had that word before.
We have
We have.
it on the show.
I think so.
Well, let me take that back.
No, no, no. We're gonna continue to use because it's a good one. Balderdash, falderall. It's all the same.
I like balderdash a little bit. It's more fun than falderall. So balderdash, senseless talk. That's what this show is about. Senseless talk or writing nonsense. She dismissed a lot of plots as bumpkin and balderdash. And there's other few words that are balderdash. Bosh, bull, bunk, clap, trap, jargon, malarkey, poppycock, balderdash.
Poppycock. Well, we've had malarkey too. I mean, we need as many nonsensical words as possible. So let's bring balderdash back, falderall, poppycock,
And nonsensical.
and nonsensical. That's pretty much us. That's why we like the balance of the spirituality because it's not all nonsense. We are actually pretty smart cookies here.
We're both well grounded, aren't we?
Very well
But
grounded
grounded in what?
in balderdash.
In nonsense. Balderdash nonsense. Yeah.
Buried in balderdash.
I would like to start off with our topic of coming because we left this open and I just want to come back to it very quickly. And it's a continuing saga with my favorite person on the planet, Nate. It and it's unfinished business with the yoga class and you wanting the people to come into the class on time and quiet, and you also want them to know what equipment to use. You said I have this equipment lined up, and then inevitably your students will say, well, what are we using today?
That's exactly what happens. It's just my skin crawls just thinking about it.
And so the solution, because I am solution oriented, I am solution based, whereas my partner here, my co-host, just loves to dance and
And
swim
complain
and complain.
and blah blah nag and I do. I mean, listen, I love to complain.
No, don't admit that.
Sorry, everybody. This spiritual yogi, health and wellness meditator, sound healer loves to complain. It has plenty to complain about too, if you ask me. So don't get me started.
Well, let's just say this, because there are two of us that co-created to make you,
That's true.
and you didn't get your complaining from me. No offense, Dad.
Start start off with a really good joke right away. So yes, the solution. What's because I've been thinking about this too, and I have a Sorrington story I'd like to share after this, which of course includes me being in class. But I love to hear your solution.
Well, the solution again is when I spoke about it last week, the solution is it's up to the individual to transcend their buttons and their triggers. Not to say, "Oh, can you come in earlier and make a contract?" And then now you have expectations that these people will yes, we're going to come in early for you. So it is inevitable that the solution is to transcend, to grow above your buttons and your triggers, not to ask other people to do things to make you feel better. Mic drop.
Well, yes, I agree with that. I agree with not making contracts with the world and expecting other people to change and going out on some witch hunt and punishing those that aren't doing what I want and praising those that are and asking those that aren't, and that's just going to take up all of my time and I'm already very busy.
Very busy. And by the way, you said witch hunt. So shout out to Marcel Norrington, who on October the 28th, well, no, October the 20, did she die the day before? October the 29th.
Late October,
Yes,
yes.
6 years. It'll be 6 years since her demise.
Wow. And I'm assuming you're bringing her up because it's around Halloween, not because you consider her a witch
No, I don't consider her a witch anymore. Um,
anymore. Well,
no,
shout out, Grandma. Happy Halloween, happy Death Day, and happy Witch Hunt Day.
yes, that's what I wanted to just give a shout out since we gave a shout out to Ralph earlier in the month. Shout out to Marcel. She's no longer with us. However, she does still haunt me. I mean, I still have contact with her.
and and we do look for our beds every evening uh, in her honor.
That is one of her sayings. My mother would before she would go to bed. Well, it's time to look for my bed. Don't ask.
Well,
Talk about nonsense.
she said look to go to bed.
Oh, it's time for no, it was it's time for me to look for my bed.
No, we change it. We change it to even more nonsensical, just to give her throw her a bone. Look to go to bed.
I've got to look to go to bed.
And then we started looking for our bed. I mean, she really is the queen of balderdash. If we're ever going to honor anyone for nonsensical balderdash, malarkey, falderall, it's her.
Exactly. Next topic, next segment.
Well, I'll just go to Norrington versus Sorrington. It's been a really hot segment on our show. And fortunately for me, I always have something to be sore about, or at least a sore story. And this was, a couple of days ago.
So hold on. So the Soarington means that you're sore, you're annoyed, you're just a little on edge, and Soarington, and especially since Halloween, it's a Horrington, Storington, Norrington story. What?
A
You heard me.
Horrorington.
Horrington. So
Well,
let's go.
Horrorington.
Horrington story. Let's go.
Well, it does happen to be in class, and I had, to my horror,
Your class, your yoga, you're
well,
teaching a yoga
this
class.
was a weights class in that then bigger studio. So this is a more active, upbeat. We're getting heavy weights. We're doing jumping jacks. We're sweating. That type of class. So that is,
But you are the instructor. To make that clear.
I am the instructor.
Okay, let's go.
It's yeah, so many ways. And you've been to this class, and to my horror, I saw about maybe 7 or 8 people sitting down, 2 minutes before class, hunched over on their cell phones. And
Uh-oh.
boy, was I a Sorrington. And to be,
Because
well, I was going to admit that I was a Sorrington even before I got there because I was in a sore mood because it was cloudy and gray. Just felt like one of those days I wanted to just cozy up and stay inside, but instead I had agreed to work and teach and be a part of the world. So I was sore that I was even going. I was really sore when I saw these cell phones. And I
then what
said,
happened?
and then I decided to make my usual announcement, but I slipped in the statement. It was very a pithy statement, and I said, "I'm seeing a lot of cell phones right now, and I think it would be a good time to put it away and get warmed up for class. Let me know if you want to chat or you need anything." And that was that.
Hoo-wee. Woo!
And then I hid behind there's a little area where you get the weights and the props, and I hid in that area because I just couldn't be seen anymore. I couldn't see them anymore, and I just needed a minute to myself to hide.
Just a minute.
Believe me, I would have taken days, honey, days if I could have. Then I came back out, and then, well, get in a plank. I mean, I thought about you because I mean, no offense, but I did take my Sorrington out on them, which felt good in the moment. I said, you were doing a plank, 1 minute plank, then 1 minute mountain climb, and no music, no frills, basically my drill sergeant way of saying get your ass in gear, and next time you better show up prepared because this is how it is.
Ooh, see, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And by the way, if you're listening to us live on Noom Vibe, oh, we have a guest that's waiting. Oh,
Come on through.
come on down. So let's see. Hold on a second. A guest is waiting on Noom Vibe. Also, you can watch us live on my YouTube channel, which is Rebecca Norrington. Okay. Now I'm a little afraid to press the guest waiting only because of what happened 2 weeks ago. I'm still shell shocked. What is it? PSD, but I'll take the chance. And if somebody starts yelling at me and cursing like it happened last time, I'm going to block you. But here we go. Guest waiting.
So welcome to our guest, and any guests listening or wanting to join up.
Okay, hold on. The guest is coming up. Guest is joining now. I'm going to put you next to the microphone. Let's see. Oh, hello, Mark. Mark Thurston, welcome to Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense Plus More. What's your comment and or question?
Real quick comment. So, Rebecca, I know you. I follow you. You're great. But what's your son's name?
Nathan.
Natey.
Nathan. That's a terrible name. Why'd you pick that name?
Oh, isn't that funny? I love that answer. I have no idea. I didn't pick it. His father did. How's that? Yell at him.
That's perfect because I picked my daughter's name, and my first daughter, is named Jordan, and I picked it because it means descending, like the river Jordan. And what I wanted to teach her was, you're just a spirit, girl. You're gonna just live for a short period of time on this little speck of dust here, and you got to recognize that you're just a facet of God. You got a limited amount of time here. You've descended from heaven, and you're going to die, and you're going to go back to heaven. So just enjoy your time here. So I picked her name.
Well, isn't this interesting, Mark? Because this is one of the things that we talk about. Well, his nickname is Natey. We talk about, and that the power of words or language, names, labels. Come on, picking it, and I'm going to say that the names, and I get the programming. The programming says that names and labels are important, but names are just names. It's just it's letters put together, and so energy is powerful, but a name. Running Springs, Happy Springs. Yeah, I don't get caught up in names. In fact, I've disowned my own name. Call me a number, call me a symbol. It doesn't matter.
That's me. Anyway, let me finish. So right when she was born, I remember writing this thing and telling everybody her name's Jordan. And don't give her any nicknames because it's bullshit. I don't want nicknames because I picked this name and it means descending and it's all important about spirituality, blah, blah, blah. And then she was born and my wife said, oh, look, it's little JoJo. And we just called her JoJo. And I erased all that bullshit about her name. We just called her JoJo.
I love that. I love that. Yes.
So,
Nathan?
well, yeah, no, I mean, it's just we really haven't. Was he?
I wanted to call in for one thing and one thing only, and you guys know this, so I'm just repeating what you already know. That some famous guy, like a coach, I don't know who it was.
Well, hold on a second, Mark. Hold on a second. Nathan had a comment. Go ahead.
No,
Nathan.
no, I'm good. I was actually wanting to get to why you called, so I'm interested in what he's about to say, Mark.
Yeah. What is it?
Anyway, you know this, and I'm just doing it for the other 7 people that are listening. You guys both know this. I don't remember who said it, but I love it. I've always loved it since I heard it the first time. And it's all about what you guys are talking about. It is kind of profound when you think about it. And I've thought about it a lot. And that is, don't complain. That's just hugely, hugely relevant. Just that alone is like golden advice that will take you to heaven. Don't complain. But they extended it and they said, don't complain, don't explain. So the second part is really what blows your mind. Because when we start explaining shit, we're really just complaining. So don't complain, shut the fuck up, basically, right? Don't complain. Forget about the explain part, because when we explain, we're just complaining. So don't complain nor explain. And you guys have already said this on this call. That's what I wanted to share. That's it.
Oh, well, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Mark.
Yeah, we really appreciate you calling in and sharing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay.
guys. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Well, wow, what a rush having a guest on the show, and I wasn't quite sure what Mark, why he called in. We haven't really had a caller on this show before, but I like that. I know you've had callers before, so I was a little thrown, but I love the don't complain or explain. I mean, personally, that's what I'm noticing in myself, and why I do.
Seconds, I gotta finish. So my
Oh,
point is, shut the fuck up. Don't complain. Don't explain, because that's nonsense, and you guys are making sense. So just be quiet. Don't complain. Don't explain. Okay, I'm done. See ya.
Okay, bye. Thank you,
bye,
Mark.
Mark.
And thank you for the expletives. We do use them off the
We do
show, but
use them. I mean, he really broke the seal here. So yes, we do use them, and maybe we will after Mark's lead.
yes, yes. So shut the fuck up.
I mean, as Mark said it best.
Yeah, yeah. Mark said it best. Shut. Yeah,
And
funny.
and he did say we're making sense. I appreciate that after all of our nonsensical talk.
Well, I have to say that I'm kind of insulted because I don't want to make too much sense. That's then the show's gonna no.
Then the
That's
show's
a
a
joke.
bust.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
joke.
I am going to explain a little bit because I want to talk about this Sorrington thing. This Sorrington, the reason I bring it up, and the reason it is complaining about the cell phones. It is complaining about coming in late. All of that is, and we talk about our identities. We talk about that human side of us that is always looking for something to talk about or judge or complain or explain, and that lives with me. So for me, my practice is being aware. Here it goes again. Either complaining out loud or complaining in my mind, explaining in my mind, and sometimes it slips out of my mouth, and sometimes it's just thoughts. Sometimes it's for just a blip, and other times it's for a longer, maybe an hour or 2 hours, or it goes in and out. So I mean, I think, to Mark's point about us making sense out of nonsense, that nonsense is the complaining. And we try to make some sense out of that. Be-
Now you hit on a couple points, but I'm going to go back to the beginning of your Soarington story when you saw the cell phones and you said you knew because you could feel it even going before the class, and that's the point. The solution is know that just being human, being reincarnated on this planet, and I'm only going to speak for myself, that the whole thing is I'm experiencing, God is experiencing through me, the universe is experiencing through me. And so all of these feelings, I am going to feel whatever, doom, gloom, not calm, impatient, angry, annoyed, but it's not who I am. It is that entity that wants to complain, that entity that is discontented. And so it has nothing to do. That's why that's why the separation is big, to practice separating myself. I refuse to identify with this entity that is always discontented. And so I recognize it's there. Sometimes it gets a voice, sometimes it gets a behavior, but it's not me. And I'm going to separate it until I breathe my last breath and die. Listen, we're all conscious energy. This body is going to die. This body is going to cease to exist, but I am eternal. And so are you and everybody else that's here. You're an eternal being. This is just a short period of time on this planet.
yeah, I mean, getting all the way real. And that's why I do like that word pithy, and because it's keeping it short, concise, and brief. And one of the things you have talked about, or one of your strategies, is pointing out these stories that the ego comes up with, that the identity comes up with, that this false persona comes up with, and it just explains and explains, and because of it
Justifies.
justifies, rationalizes, and analyzes, and it's It's 3 words. It's longer than 3 words. And if it's pithy to me, if it's short, if I'm able to but that to me is getting closer to my God, to that spirit energy, that divine energy. It's simple.
Yes, simple, keeping it simple. And by the way, so just changing and going to a Soarington, because I have a Soarington story too. And I'm on this app. But before I go on, if you are live listening to us live on Noom, you can ask to join the stage. And we are also live on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington YouTube channel. Woohoo!
And one quick thing, just doubling back to Mark, if he's still listening, or because he talked about his daughter, I think Jordan, and this show is about, it's our mother and son, parent, child creation out of all of the years of and moments we've had together and experiences and so all of that. So I'd be interested. Not today. I think we got a good enough dose from Mark, but I would like to hear some stories of parenthood and child parent relationship.
I don't want to hear stories of parenthood from program people. If you're programmed, you're going to have a programmed story. Then see, that's the difference. He's nicer than me. So see, it's really recognizing, are you programmed? And meaning, are your thoughts, are your stories based on a program? And you know it's a program. Were you born with this belief? Were you born with this thought? Were you born with these stories? And who is coming up with these stories, and who is the author of the stories? That is really key. But going to my Soarington, I'm on this OWL app, OWWLL, and I am a quote unquote, and I don't want to use the word expert. Just say somebody on the app that has an expertise, and of course, mine is happiness. And when I say happiness, it is an energy of contentment. So forget the word, because some people don't even like the word, but it is an energy that I'm talking about, an energy of vibration, personal vibration. And so I've been on the app for a while. And just this week, because I don't notice numbers aren't, I've told you the numbers, noticing a number is another program. So I don't notice numbers, bank account numbers. When I get money out of the teller, no, I don't count the money. I don't count my change. Numbers just, anyway. So one of the people on the app called me and said, I guess I had 999 calls. And one of the brand ambassadors called me to make it 1,000 calls. So now another person called me and said, congratulations, you made it to 1,000 calls. And I couldn't be more sore or annoyed that you're congratulating me, especially if you know me. You're congratulating me on some man-made accomplishment, 1,000 calls. Aren't you excited? And I had to say, to their chagrin, no, I'm not excited. I don't get excited over 1,000 calls. I'm not going to get excited, but I will get excited if my practice of living in the moment, I'm learning to live in the moment. I am going to get excited if I have less judgments. I am going to get excited if I recognize that the stories aren't true. I am going to get excited if you tell me, hey, Rebecca, you were talking and it shifted my perspective. I'm going to get excited over that, but I'm not going to get excited over 1,000 calls. And I was thinking about this. I'm taking it to another level. If somebody gave me $1 million, here, Rebecca, here's $1 million. Am I going to get excited over that? In fact, somebody posted the other day, this global person, and he said, if I gave you $1 million, you'd be happy. And I had to dispute it. No, I'm not going to, my vibration isn't going to go up or down with $1 million. I'm going to say, oh, thank you. And it's a practice. Have I always been like this? Absolutely not. I'm 68 years old, going on 69, but don't tell anybody. But a man-made accomplishment is not going to get me excited.
Ooh, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. There's a lot going on. I'm hearing feelings. Something happens. Someone says something. external, and then that's supposed to
Like
elicit a
come
and that's
closer
supposed
to the
to
mic.
elicit a feeling in me. I don't know. I mean, I just told my story about in that moment, in my complaining moment, I would have blamed my feeling on what they were doing, whether it's excitement or a shitty mad feeling. And I really was feeling the way I was feeling before that moment. And like you and I talk about, there's no story for the feeling. So I'm excited when I'm excited.
And now you're taking it to another level. Thank you for that. And you're absolutely right. So here you hear the whole story about why I had to come up with I'm not going to get excited over that. Yes, excitement is in the moment. I can't do future excitement. Excitement is in the moment. I am going to and who knows what I'm going to get excited about. So let me back up. Let me strike all of that. I'm not going to get excited over $1 million because all of that is a future is a future statement. And so backing all the way up, thank you for checking that. I must have been irritated prior to the call because I'm going to say that if somebody said, "Oh, congratulations for 1,000 calls," I can see myself saying, "Oh, thank you," without the annoyance. So that's how that's in the moment reality, spirituality in the moment, how this shit works. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I mean, it's bringing me in as well. It's so interesting. This word programmed, right now I'm feeling that word to mean there's no in the moment. There's no room for it. The in the moment is fresh and new and uncertain and unexpected. And programmed is this happens and then this happens every single time. And we're not only human, but we're spirit too. So it's so laced with uncertainty and in the moment. And one of my practices is is being okay with that, because that really is what's really going on. There isn't certainty, and just like Mark so plainly and pithily described, we gonna die. So I really don't know when that's
Oh,
gonna
that's
happen.
balderdash.
That's
We're not going to
balderdash.
die. The human body is going to die. We stay alive.
Human body is going to make a transition, and I really don't know when that is going to happen or how it's going to happen, how I'm going to feel. It's just all future. And I think my programming is just this idea that I know that I have this certainty, and I think if I know, I'll feel better. And that's not even true either.
And so what you're saying is to question all of the stories and they're not only they're the truth behind it. And one of the ladies that I like, I always point to her where it's called The Work from Byron Katie. And she asked 4 questions. And the first 2 are, is it true? Are your thoughts true? Are your stories true? And the second question is, are you sure that they're true? So yeah, this truth thing, but going on to another segment, I'm going to this segment, and you don't know about this, but I get a call every Wednesday from my favorite person on the planet, which is this gentleman next to me, but in the screen. And it was a Tuesday, and I for the whole day I'm thinking it's Wednesday. But it was Tuesday, and but I was, oh, I'll talk to Nathan later. Nathan's gonna call. He schedules me in between his when he's on the road. He schedules me in between the gym and then going to his survivor party. So I have a limited amount of time, so I have to really talk fast.
This is all true, ladies
It's
and
all
gentlemen.
true.
This
So
is true.
I'm scheduled. I'm scheduled, and so I'm taught. But it's Tuesday, and I'm thinking it's Wednesday, and I'm waiting, and it's 7, and it's 7:30, it's 8 o'clock. Hey, he didn't call, so I had expectations of that phone call until. But I'm just thinking, yeah, I still had expectations that he's going to call on this day, and so I have to check that too because all expectations. I wrote this book. I don't know. Oh shoot, where is the book? It's called. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Hold on.
And I have a right way versus wrong way when we wrap this up.
Yes, Program for Unhappiness. It's on Amazon right now. Program for Unhappiness. And in this book, I list 56 program behaviors, and one of them, different levels, level one, level two, level three. Level one is having expectations, all expectations. If you want to eliminate disappointment and heartbreak forever, eliminate the expectations. So I had expectations, and you didn't call because it wasn't Wednesday.
And to be fair, I do call on different days of the week, but there's something about that Wednesday. It's right in the middle. We've done our show. We've had a lot of mother son balderdash spiritual time, and then it's coming up, so it just feels right. So and thank you for sharing that. That's because that's expectation and that's mother son topics, and that's just our evolution year after year, day after day. I have a right way versus wrong way related to that.
Please, that we're going into our segment, which is right way, wrong way. Let's go.
Right way versus wrong way. So this is letting a little bit of that ego trickle in just for some fun here. And I do believe it is true. And if you are getting the program for unhappiness, that book, and you're a highlighter like me, because I like to highlight and mark books that I get, especially a book like that with little tidbits.
Have you read my
Yes,
book?
I have lived your book, but I haven't read it yet. I thought that would be enough. One step at a time. So the right way, if you're highlighting things in a book like that, you use brackets, not a yellow highlighter. And by brackets, I mean something like this, where you want to start, you do a little bracket at the front,
Oh,
bracket at the back, or if you like the whole paragraph, you just do a little bracket on the side.
okay. So let me explain to people that are not watching us live on YouTube. On my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. So because he showed his book, and a bracket is just a straight line on the side of the paragraph. But I'm looking, but it's not even a highlighted side. It's an ink side or a pencil side. It's not highlighted.
That's right. Well, it's not highlighted, but it does highlight the line, whatever you want to do, and it doesn't clutter up the page, but you can still go back. It's just a faint, subtle way to highlight and still be able to read it. And then the last thing is just if you do bookmarks, I just do what they're called dog ears, but I think real book lovers would be upset, but it's just the dog ear right here, little
Oh
tag.
yes, that is very upsetting. However, and I will show you the right way to do a dog ear.
Please.
And I'm going to show you with my own book. This is the correct way, and this is a spur in the moment, because I didn't even plan to do right way, wrong way. But do you see how quickly your mother can come up with something?
I know
So
that.
this is the correct, and that I've lived your. This is the correct way to. You fold it the long way,
Oh, let me see. I
like
might learn something
this.
here. Oh no. So why would you do that?
I don't know.
Girl, you just be folding pages for no reason. Do you use bookmarks or fold pages or
I
no?
fold pages. I usually fold pages, or I do put something, whatever I find around, whether it's a piece of paper, whether it's a paper clip, whether it,
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
you're a bookmarker. Well, the real way is probably to use a paper clip. I think bookmarks are annoying because they slip out, but and the folded page, but then you're folding too much of the page, in my opinion. So that is an ongoing discussion.
you are correct. I'm going to surrender to your balderdash and your nonsensical way of keeping the place in the book. And yes, you're going to win on that. Staying with the nonsense. This is a question that I came up with. This is my own question, and I ask it to anyone that I think that would get my humor. Do you know? And so let me ask you, Nathan. Do you know? Do you know what's wrong with you?
I have to say I do.
Okay. And the answer is, what's wrong with you is that you don't know that there's something wrong with you.
Now this is nonsensical sense. I'm gonna write that down. You don't know what's wrong with you is you don't know what's wrong with you. That's really good.
So the joke is you can't if they say yes I do know what's wrong with you, it's just time for you to slither away because now there's no joke. But if someone says if I say do you know what's wrong with you and they say no I don't, I say well that's what's wrong. You don't know that there's something wrong with you.
That's
That's
really
what's
good.
wrong.
That's really good. I kind of blew that one, but with a commoner, you won't get that response. Hopefully, we'll have to test it out.
Did you say commoner?
Yes,
I like to call them civilians.
they're both pretty insulting.
You think well no, the most insulting is robot.
Or monkey.
Speaking of monkeys and speaking of animals, they they don't have a choice as to what they do. They're instinctual. They hibernate during the winter. They fly south for the summer. They don't have choices. They're hunting, and so they're all based on instinct. Question: do we have a choice? Do we have? Is there something? Is free will real or is it balderdash?
That's a good one, maybe for next week to sink our teeth into.
Oh,
And I
okay.
would have to a little preview. I would say we do have a choice. I think you would say we don't.
Not you think. I would definitely say that we don't. And
Well,
I'm not even going to say we. Let me just stick with me because people, "Oh, I have a choice. I have free will." But so let's say this I don't have free will.
all right.
Because if I did, you think all this shit would turn out like this? No, I don't have any free will. And that's why the lesson is the answer is the journey is to relax, enjoy the ride, enjoy all the experiences without a judgment. The problem, my suffering comes from putting a judgment on my experiences. Oh, this is an unwanted moment. Oh, no, I don't want to experience that. No, all of the experiences and surrender to the ride, surrender to what's happening. No judgment. This is good. This is bad. And no impatience and being at peace with uncertainty. Mic drop.
Very good. I'm on the same acceptance path. I want to end also with a little, we're wrapping up here in just a couple minutes. I also want to bring in some nonsense because we talked about a nonsensical song. And I have some lyrics that I want to put in I want to have a creative corner here and see what you think about these lyrics.
Yes, let's go.
It's very pithy, it's brief. Falderall lyrics. It takes no sense to pay for nonsense. Just a tick can really seem big, but not too big. Keep it small. Don't you understand the benefit of falderall?
Okay. Don't you understand the benefit of it all? Oh, you're trying to use our
Yeah,
words?
I'm trying to, it's our falderall song.
You
So,
love that word falderall.
and you're trying to replace it with balderdash.
Well, I'm trying to replace it. I'm putting it in order to replace it.
I'm not trying.
I
We
don't.
are replacing it.
We're replacing falder. No, I don't
Okay,
mind.
so well, no, maybe. Well, I love the benefit of it all. That's nice. So this is working lyrics, working song. What did you think?
Read it again. Read it again.
Okay, and I hear it as a
Read
song.
it with some kind of.
Right, right. Well, I want you to hear the words though.
Okay, go. If you're watching us on Noom Vibe or on YouTube, I just put both of my hands covering my ears to imitate. I'm not listening, but go.
It takes no sense to pay for nonsense. Just a tick can really seem big, but not too big. Keep it small. Don't you understand the benefit of falderall?
See, the benefit of Follow doesn't flow.
That killed. Well, I know. Well, that last line I don't know. So, okay, Miss Solution Base. Not complaining, not explaining. What's your solution?
Well, first of all, we have to be very clear when you say tick and when you say big, know that audience know that it's not BIG, it's BIC, BIC.
Okay, so I'll
So
do
we're
big.
using which is a word that we make up our own language. Don't tell anybody. So instead of saying big, we say big.
Yes.
And instead of saying hello when we call each other on the phone, it's not hello. We say, Ayo.
We do. Yes. That's right. We do make up our own language. Okay, so I'll keep it big. And then what else? I want it to be nonsensical, but sensic. Is it funny?
Okay, so
Too
this is what
long, too short?
it's not too long. What you can do is text me or email me the lyrics, and
Okay.
then because it's I've got to work my magic editing,
All
and then
right.
we'll go back and forth with the create. But I do like it doesn't take any sense to make nonsense,
That's right.
which really doesn't make any sense. Who's paying for nonsense?
Who's paying for? All right, I'll text you. That's good. All right, Creative Corner is closed for today.
Okay. We have more. We have someone else that wants to. Let's see. Who is
We're
this?
gonna
Let's
make
see.
it quick
Yeah, hold on. Who
because we're
wants to
wrapping
come
up
up?
the show
We
in
are wrapping up the show
three
here.
minutes. T minus 3 minutes.
And we have, well, you know what? We it's 10 o'clock, so we're gonna have to wrap up the show. Our guest waiting. I don't know. Let's see who this is.
Let's let
Oh,
him just say what's goody.
well, guess who the guest is again? Our new best friend, Mark.
Oh, Mark's back.
You already had your shot. That's one for the day, and have a
Let's have
great.
him close it out. Let's see what he has to say.
See, that's the difference. You're a nice guy, and I say it's 10:01, and we have 42 people listening on Noom Vibe today.
Bye. Well, all right. Well, we'll have to have. Apparently, you got one shot as a guest,
Yeah,
so make it good.
yeah. You don't. Yeah. So Mark, please, if you're inspired next week, listen again. I'd love to hear your comment.
All right. Well, that seems to be our show. I want to dig into free will next week. I want to talk a little bit more about parenthood, and I like that. What's wrong with you? If you don't know what's wrong, then that's what's wrong.
And I want to leave the audience, and I want to leave with this, or end with this. One of the things that my father, when he was alive, would always say, life is good. It's a good life. Do you remember Graham saying that it's a good life, and it beats the alternative? And so, hey, thank you. Great show, Saw Cal. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so he would say it's a great life. And I would always look at him and, what are you talking about? You're always arguing with your wife, and good life. But he would always say that. And then our best friend, he even says, this is the best time of my life. Now he's in his late 50s, soon to be 60. This is the best time of my life. And so this is my comment. What if all of that is true? What if this is a good life? This is the best time, best time right now. And I am vibrating that, and practicing embracing that. Yes, this is a good life. And it is right now. And Moji, this is another video. He says the present moment isn't about time. The present moment is about awareness. So it's a practice, and awareness is the work. And with that, it's time to go.
Good one to leave it on. Let's go.
Hey yo, it's time to go. Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's over. Now let's listen.